Hello, I'm Erica Carlson. Thank you for joining me on iHeartMinneapolisHomes.com. I want to talk to you about part 2 of ways to compete when you're in an all-cash buyer situation. And now, of course, when you are writing an offer, you really don't know who your competition is. Minnesota, we do see cash buyers, but it doesn't mean that everybody in a multiple offer situation is coming with cash. It's extremely hard to compete with cash buyers when you are financing, and it feels like there's nothing to do. You can come up with these little tips and tricks, which I am sharing with you. So I hope you saw part 1, where I've been talking quickly and trying to give you a lot of information that hopefully your very good real estate agent would be giving you anyway. It's very hard to give somebody this information when they haven't done it for a long time, or they don't realize how aggressive the market is. I think a lot of people think this is a sales pitch. However, the last offer I wrote, we did not win, and we had 7 other people to compete with. I knew it was a long shot, but I still wanted to try anyway. And when I know you as a client, which our lenders call you borrowers because you're borrowing money, when I know your financial situation, I'm going to look at all the things I'm talking to you about, and I'm going to present them to you as I know that you may or may not be comfortable with them. I will help you with the process. You will dictate the decisions. I absolutely love that mantra in terms of how this all works together. We've talked about the importance of having a fantastic lender partner, somebody who's available and can take our call on the weekend, because let's face it, that's when we shop for houses, is typically Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So working with a company who goes off the clock at 5 o'clock on a Friday night is not going to be a super helpful lender source for us. I know I just threw a lot of lenders under the bus, but that is my bias, and my preference for my clients is somebody we can actually get a hold of on the phone and we can strategize with, just because the market can be so crazy sometimes. So let's jump into, I believe, number 5, which is escalatory addendums, or what I call escalation clauses. This is slightly advanced and not always accepted. So before you get too excited about an escalation clause, I would pause and ask your buyer's agent to reach out to the listing agent and make sure they're accepting escalation clauses. Now, sometimes things are moving so quickly that it doesn't matter what the answer is and you just do it anyway. And sometimes the listing agent will come back and say, nope, no escalation clauses allowed. Why buyers love escalation clauses is it's the gray. So real estate feels very black and white. I'm offering this. They say yes or no. I don't know what anybody else is offering because it's like a blind auction. So escalation clauses have answered the question to where is the gray? How do I possibly win? And how do I win without over winning, if that's a thing? Now, a lot of people say, don't bother with them. Just put your highest and best offer in and let it be. But there are these escalation clauses that we can use when necessary. So I have the exact language that I would put on an amendment for you. It goes something like this. Basically, if the house, if there's other offers and you can prove that there's other offers, we will bring our price to X. If you don't have any other offers, our price is Y. So you're putting that cap on it. I hope I'm explaining that well. So it's not like, well, the seller can come back and say, okay, I'll take $1 million when it's a $200,000 house. No, let's say it's a $200,000 house. You say, okay, I'll give you 200. But if you have a bona fide offer, you can show it to me that you and your friend down the street didn't just make up a purchase agreement to try to raise my price. I'll go up to, let's say, 225 top. But but I'm going to beat out another offer by X amount. So let's say I'll go 1,000 over your highest other offer just to make it worth beating that other person. There are times this works. There are times, like I said, the listing agent will come back and say, no, what's your highest and best offer? I haven't really seen it backfire against anybody up to this point. That's always possible. That I don't see why somebody couldn't come back, and you've basically shown them your cards of how high you'll go. But there's also lender partners out there who will basically put your highest and best price on a pre-approval letter. So it's kind of the same thing. So it is an option. It's just not always an option. Sometimes it can backfire. in terms of they just won't take it. That's the biggest thing I've found. And then you're left with, well, I was going to go to 225. Now I don't know what to do, because if I offer them 220, am I going to lose? Am I paying 10,000 more than everybody else? You don't know. And that's where this kind of silent auction component is uncomfortable as a buyer, and you have to go with your gut instincts. All right, number 6, closing occupancy for your seller. So what I mean by that is a rent back. Nobody's favorite. They can definitely be complicated. But because so many sellers need to sell before they can buy, the problem is they can't buy until their house has sold. So they're getting it on the market and then they don't know where to live, and they don't want to live in a rental. They don't want to live in a hotel. So another gray area of real estate is when you're the seller, you can ask your buyer to rent the current house back to you. And you have to come up with a lease, and technically they become your landlord. You can imagine there could be complications if somebody wouldn't move out or they've trashed the place. So there's always those complex topics that can come up with these rent back situations. Also, lenders don't let you do these unlimited. So a lot of lenders are going to put a 60-day max on how long you can rent back the place before it basically becomes an investment property, which is what they're not lending you money on. If they're lending you money on a home that's supposed to be solely yours, and now you're going past 60 days, it's starting to look more like an investment property rather than a house you're going to move into. So it's not the solution completely. It just can be a solution if your seller is struggling to find a new house. You could win in multiple offers if you're the only person offering a rent back and nobody else is, and you've solved a problem for a seller. They might be just tickled that the house is closed, so now when they write offers, they no longer have a contingency that their house needs to sell. Not sure I'm explaining that clearly because I'm talking quickly. Moving on. I can always answer questions if you think of any. Let's talk about cash-backed offer programs. These are sort of these innovative lending programs that have moved into the Twin Cities market. For example, one is knock.com and another one is onward.com or onward financing, I believe is what they're called. These are programs. I'm a little bit more familiar with Knock, so I'll explain that. Knock has 2 different programs, Knock Go and Knock Home Swap. So talking about the cashback program, what they're doing is they're still lending you money like in a conventional loan, but they are it makes it more look like you're writing a cash offer, like where they kind of have programs in terms of if there's appraisal issues or they're removing the contingencies. I'm not going to get too far into the details on this. Let's just say it's just like leveling the playing field for people who need financing, but cannot do cash, but want it to look like a cash offer. So these are some really exciting programs that are helping people be more competitive and are definitely worth looking at. The local program, I believe, is called Onward, and I can get you information about either one of these lender sources and how they work and the fees, and you're going to still want to compare that to a traditional lender and see if the financing or the fees and fee structure and stuff and whatnot is worth it for you. And then just real quick about Knock Home Swap, that's a program where they'll let you buy before you sell. And so for those of you that have a home to sell and you're sort of stressed out about how to do that, Knock Home Swap will answer that question for you. Another way to do it is, again, talk to a traditional lender about bridge loans, because while they kind of went out of favor, they're coming back because people know that they need them. There's also like recasting your loan, so there's other packages. So please don't keep this stuff to yourself. If you have these concerns, talk to your agent, talk to your lender, and see what options there are. All right, 8 and 9 I'm going to combine together for speed of time or whatnot. These things are not super in your control as a client, but they are things that you can be mindful of and think about if you're having trouble. And I don't want you to be quick to point your fingers at your real estate agent if you're not winning in multiple offers. It doesn't mean that they're doing anything wrong. I just think about like who I was when I started as a buyer's agent and who I am today. and how much I've learned in that process. And I'm going to quote my mom right now. And I remember she said when I first started, I only worked with my husband, Scott, where we were just doing our own things. And what a beautiful situation, because I was able to do all the hard work on the client who was me. So if we lost out, I was like punishing myself, right? Instead of punishing a stranger. So I've been able to take all of that knowledge and now apply it forward to other people so that I'm not interfering with their ability to get it. So let me explain better. Relationships always matter in business. There's no exception in real estate. They say 20% of all the real estate agents are doing a majority of the business. Whether that's true or not, it seems fairly accurate. So the real estate agents are networking with each other through transactions. Maybe we're just even neighbors with each other, whatnot. But our relationships are paramount. And so you really do want an agent with a good reputation, and hopefully you can pick up on somebody who seems to play well with others versus somebody who might not. There's nothing in our code of ethics that we should be throwing out offers if we don't like the agent or doing anything negative like that. But we're all human. And so just keeping it 100% real, you want somebody who knows how to work with other people and be a good team player. And again, I don't really know how you would screen for that, but you want to pick up on whether it looks like somebody would be good at their relationship skills. So what we say is kind of like we're competing in the open market, but when we come together, we're co-op agents, meaning we're cooperating together to help you get the transaction to the finish line. And so you want somebody who's going to do that well for you. The other piece is a well-written offer. And again, I'm not really sure how you would screen for this. There is a way to present offers where they're more professional than other ones. I've seen things like people sharing video when they present the offer. People used to, back in the day, actually present them face to face. I'm not going to BS you. We're not doing that anymore. It is generally coming across as an email, but the way that we're pulling the paperwork together, whether it's cleanly put together, it's, is there a summary sheet with it? Is it one PDF or is it 20 PDFs? All these little things can show the level of professionalism coming from your agent. So I really don't have any advice for you in terms of how you would distinguish if your real estate agent is presenting themselves professionally, but just pick up on the little things. How are they emailing and texting you? How are they presenting material to you? Because most likely that represents how they're representing it to the other agent, which is representing you. We're not the ones buying and selling real estate here. We're entrenched in it every day. We're talking about this every day, and we're seeing what's going on right in front of us. And we're giving you that information. And you need that person to be professional and present that as such. Because that's going to be to your advantage when you're writing an offer and you're up against 10 other people. Again, I know I was talking really fast. I appreciate you joining me for part 2. If you think of any questions, I'm happy to answer it, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.